Well, hello everyone. Hopefully you can all hear me okay because this is me being remote. I think I finally solved at least the technical issues of the problem, and as long as the internet connection is good enough, we are good. So yeah, let me know if you can hear me okay. That would help a lot. But hey everyone, hey, Susan and Janine and Jan and Michael and Katsurita and Susan. No, I know it's a little darker. I need to get better lighting for next time. I'm going to put together a nice kit bag for my camera and all the stuff I need on the road. I kind of put a hodgepodge together to try some stuff, and I'll get a better lighting set up next time. Mainly for now, I was just trying to get to get everything to work, to get the technical things going, and hopefully I succeeded. Loud and clear? Okay, excellent, excellent. Um, I'm not going to hold up a USA today. Don't worry, we're good. Yeah, I know it is a little dark behind me. I'll get better lighting next time, but I just want to at least be able to be seen, And it's always interesting after a. Um, oh wow, okay, audio is working good. Power outages. Ooh, sorry about that, Janine. But yes, it's an interesting endeavor to try to get everything to work on a remote connection. I'm probably going to use a hotspot in the future. I think that's the safest way to do it consistently. Also, yeah, how is the picture? Is the picture okay considering? Can you tell much difference? Because I am using a lower bit rate. Not a huge bit lower, but definitely a lower. And Andrew's saying it's good on YouTube, so that's good to hear. Great. Okay. Yeah, is the quality okay? I mean, does it seem very... I mean, other than the weird sort of view and everything, I have nothing behind me. I'm going to change that too in the future, but a smidge blurry maybe? Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I was just trying to make do with what I had here, so I'll see what I can do. Some of that might also be the shadows on my face and everything. Um, Oh, I'm floating. Oh, you're right. It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll work on that. I'll work on that. Yes. Yeah. The dark couch and everything. That is never easy. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, this was a good test because that's what I wanted to find out. This is sort of a beta test. Well, at least I am up and live, and that's the important thing. So I appreciate the feedback. I will definitely be using it. And next time when I'm on the road, which will be probably in about a little over a month, I'll be in Louisiana for the Louisiana Ren Fair for several weeks. And then, yeah, I'm going to, I know where I'm probably not going to have great internet there. So I'm going to need to get a hotspot and try that out. So there's going to be some fun times to be had, something to look forward to. Something definitely to look forward to. Okay, no pixelating there. Okay, so Susan, thanks. It's a little bit less sharp. Well, I mean, it is a lower bit rate. I mean, it's a good chunk. I think I'm using about maybe 25% less bit rate. So yeah, I mean, you might notice it a hair. I definitely went a little overkill before to get it as clear as possible, but I had the connection to support it. And I'll be checking and tweaking and making sure the picture is as good as possible on a hotspot. So we'll have some more fun this fall. Always good. Now, for me, I've got a lot of great things to tell you about Gen Con, because that's where I was last weekend, Gen Con in Indianapolis. And yeah, it was, of course, you think going to a huge convention with tens of thousands of people, scary, nerve-wracking, COVID, the whole thing. It's a little nuts, but they did a good job. I think I told you before that Dragon Con, they did a pretty good job, and I was really happy with how that turned out. Relieved, actually. Gen Con as well did a very good job. They had everything really spread out. They had a lot of... there wasn't like long lines of people waiting when you were leaving an event, waiting to go into the next one. They had space in between each event, which I think was a great idea. And yeah, just I think it was a very wise move. They scaled back, I think, the right amount, and they limited the number of people just the right amount. It did feel a lot smaller than it has in gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think if it was. It felt smaller than I think it ever has. I mean, we're talking pre 2005 levels, which was kind of interesting. At the same time, had a great time. I made some new fans and some new friends, and got to play a lot of music and sold a good number of CDs and everything. And it was, yeah, I mean, it was financially successful, definitely. I have no complaints there. And yeah, it was just a fun time. So I'm really happy about that. I don't know how many of you frequent conventions, sci-fi, fantasy, or gaming, or anime, or any type of convention, if you just do Ren fairs. But yeah, there's a certain, there's somewhat tangentially related to fairs in a way, because it's, yeah, I mean, a lot of the same people who go to fairs will often go to conventions as well, I think. Oh, Diana, hey, thanks. Thanks for saying that you enjoyed the music. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, and Jeremy says not for about 20 years. Yeah, okay. that makes sense. Oh, Jeremy, you would have loved Gen Con. Oh, geez, yeah, I know the whole gaming aspect. It's nerdvana. You would have really liked it. Definitely a lot of fun. And Drew, just got back from Dallas Fan Expo. Excellent. That's interesting. I know I was thinking about Dallas before about conventions, because I knew FinCon, which is a convention in the Dallas area, was going on this weekend too. So, yeah. But yeah, from the Dallas Fan Expo. Interesting. So yeah, this is, wow. Yeah, I don't know. The one weird thing about Gen Con for me this year is I wasn't quite sure the situation, if I'd be going, or how everything was going to play out, so I didn't really schedule any big shows. I mainly just did some busking and some small shows in the lanes, and it still worked great for me, so I have no complaints. But yeah, definitely next year I'm going to do a lot more shows and expand on that, because yeah, I mean, I did some a couple of years ago. I did a few shows, but I definitely need to do more, and I think some workshops as well. Thinking about maybe actually I'll ask you about this. I was thinking about a how to play recorder panel and doing that, and I don't know. I mean, it not really just for kids or anything, for anybody who might be interested in doing that. People have talked to me about it, so I thought this might be a good idea to do the basics of playing the recorder and how to get to a certain point with it. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think that's something that people would be interested in? Because I have had a little bit of interest in it from people. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Jeremy, I knew you'd been to cons, because come on, yeah, definitely. Oh, and Drew's asking about playing the recorder in a masked environment. It is weird, and you really have to. How I've approached it is, yeah, I mean, it has to make contact with my mouth, so it is sort of like cheating with the mask wearing in a way, but I still try to make sure that the rest of my face is covered and my nose and everything is totally covered, and I try to minimize it as much as I can, and I do my best to keep a good bit of distance from everyone when I play. 6 feet minimum, and I try to go more than that, a good bit more. And usually I'm successful with that. It's usually 10 plus feet that I'm away from people, so that makes it a bit better. But yeah, I mean, it is a kind of a strange thing, but there's no way around it. You can't play a wind instrument without having it make contact with your mouth. There is no way. I've tried. It's just impossible. So yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. You just have to try to back away. And there were a lot fewer performers than there normally were. There were pretty much 5 of us, I think, is the gist, give or take. But yeah, there are pretty much 5 musicians or groups, I should say, out there at a time. So very different, very, very different. Normally there's more like 8 or 10 or 12, sometimes even a little more than that. And that's just the main performers that they contract out with to come out there. I mean, there's more than that usually. So yeah, it was a very a very small group of us in this section in the exhibitors hall at our tables. We started calling it Bard's Way or Bard's Corner or something. It was a lot of fun. So we got to jam with some of the musicians too, so that was a lot of fun too. Definitely fun. Oh, and Diana's asking me if I'm rested from the weekend. Oh, I'm starting to be. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I'm starting to be. Um, yeah, I think once I get home and can really, I'm probably going to sleep for most of the day after I get home to finally be recovered. But then I'm digging in and I'm going to be working on music like crazy for the next several months, actually. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit here too, so I'll share that as I go. But yeah, in a few weeks I'll probably have some stuff to talk about that with. I have a lot of music projects I am going to jump on. Definitely going to jump on. Oh, and Drew says he would go to a recorder panel. Okay, interesting. Um, Janine went to a paleontology convention. That, I mean, actually, that, I guess I'm just that much of a nerd because that actually sounds really interesting to me. But yeah, yeah, it definitely does. Okay, so Drew likes the recorder panel. Of course, you play recorder, so you would like that. Um, I'd probably have to set it up where I had a basic. I don't know. I'd probably do like a beginner one, and then maybe not the first year, but see if there was interest, and maybe look at a intermediate and advanced class too, and do an intro class too, just with a like a 30-minute class where I just talk about some of the basics and theory and something you should take if you're going to take the beginner class, so we can get the theory out of the way, and the beginner class could just be practical, where you work on it. Oh, right, Diana. Yes, yes. It was so late that I finally said yes, I'm going. It was past the deadline to create those event shows, and like I had a couple of years ago. So that was why. So yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. Mm. And sorry, I'm trying to follow everybody's comments. It's a little tough because I'm doing it all on on my little laptop screen. I'm gonna make some changes there and have an extra screen in the future. But small steps, small steps. Oh, and on YouTube, Kelly is saying, uh, oh yeah, and talking about Dragon Con. And yes, yes, they're talking about Dragon Con from Hobbit Drinking Songs. Yes, we're talking about Gen Con, by the way, in case you didn't pick that up immediately. And they're saying yes to Recorder 101. I like that. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, Diana definitely needed a day of rest. It's one of those things where that type of thing is just so stimulating. I mean, with information, you get so much a barrage of all of this great stuff, not just knowledge based, but also just fun stuff to get excited about. And you go for sometimes 14 plus hours a day. It can be very overwhelming day after day after day. If you go the full 4 days, you need a vacation from the vacation. That's a good rule of thumb. You kind of do need that. So definitely take a look and try to take some time off for yourself, because I kind of, when I'm on the road, I don't completely relax until I get home. I kind of taper off a little bit. I get moments of relaxation, and I'm okay. That's where I am. And then when I get home, I just kind of completely let go, and I'm going to be a vegetable for a day. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Um, oh, and okay, and Jan will be in Indy next weekend. Well, that's cool. Oh, and Diana's an extrovert. Yeah, it's there's so many people at Gen Con who are introverts. It goes with the territory, I suppose, and a lot of the performers too are actually introverts. I'm kind of an introvert extrovert. I'm a little in the middle. I kind of like both. Sometimes I want to be alone. Sometimes I like hanging around with people, and I can do it either way. And I think that's somewhat helpful sometimes, because when you're doing this, what I do, sometimes you're alone and sometimes you're surrounded by people. So I think that's worked well for me, definitely. Wow. Okay. Drew, I don't think you're an introvert, or if you are, you've really learned how to hide it very, very well. I think that's how I would phrase it. Yeah. There definitely are performers who are extroverts. I didn't mean to imply that there weren't. So don't worry. Oh gosh, okay, Susan, you found an old recorder, a shot with a okay, made in England. Yes. Generally, when you find old recorders, they're going to be either German or British, or sometimes American. That's those were the big recorder manufacturers that they're the ones that started making relearning how to make recorders about 100 years ago. For the 1800s, they didn't make recorders. They just stopped. There was no interest, so the companies all folded, and they did not make recorders on this planet for about 100 years. And then around 1910, a couple of companies took old recorders and reverse engineered how to make them again. It's kind of cool. And then, of course, plastic came along, and the rest is history. Oh, Mollenhauer? Yeah. Classic. Classic German. So, yes. But yeah, I mean, conventions, if for those of you that haven't been to a sci-fi fantasy convention like Dragon Con or a gaming convention like Gen Con, I do recommend it. I think that it is really a fun place, and I think you'd enjoy it. If you like games, for instance, or gaming, Gen Con's great. If you like, sci-fi stuff, I mean, I know you get to see some famous actors or directors or writers or comic artists and everything at Dragon Con, and that can be a lot of fun. And if you like meeting those people, getting autographs and asking them questions and seeing panels where they talk about their projects, I mean, it's kind of nice. So something to think about. But you don't have to go for something huge like a Dragon Con or a Gen Con and travel halfway around the country. Usually there are conventions, local ones, in all over the major cities in North America and the world, really, throughout the year. So you can take a look and see what's local in your area, and maybe it'll be something that's has to do with a fandom or an interest that you have, something worth checking out. So something to check out. I know it's a little different than Fair Life, but I feel like Fair and conventions are a little, like I said, they're kind of tangentially related. Oh, right, yes, Janine says that a yellow plastic one that came with a Sound of Music book. That's still a popular trend. They love putting like musical or Disney movie music books with recorders, especially for kids. And it's something they would see in the songs they already kind of know, so it's a lot easier to learn how to play. And it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, that's generally for those recorders, you're going to see them with books like that. Well, yes, of course, fairs. Diana, yeah. And that's usually what I talk about. I talk about fairs, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the fairs, because since I'm here, let's go ahead. I managed to go ahead, with Alicia's help, I managed to go ahead and make a map of the fairs that are going on right now this weekend. So something to check out. Here you go. Yeah, right. Not bad, eh? I still managed to do it on the road. Photoshop does work on my laptop. I'm so proud. So, yes, something to take a look at. But yes, you notice a lot of fairs going on, right? A whole lot all around the country. This is, I told you before a while ago that this is that time of year where in the fall, I think that's when most of the fairs are going on. I mean, you have more that are going on in the fall, really. Spring too, but I think more in the fall. So here we have, I guess, wow, we can just kind of run the gauntlet here. I mean, it's starting off in California on the West Coast. I mean, we have the Northern California Renaissance Fair in Hollister, California, the Folsom Renaissance Fair in Folsom, California, and the Idlewild Renaissance Fair in Idlewild, California. Now, Idlewild, that's just, I think of New York when I think Idlewild, but yes, there's in California as well. And then, of course, down into Texas, you have the Canterbury Renaissance Festival of Northeast Texas in Mount Pleasant, Texas. So that is something definitely down south going on. And it hasn't been too hot down here. Well, down here, I'm not there right now, but it hasn't been too bad. They've had a very mild summer down there, so it's good weather for it this year, definitely. Then we can go up to... Well, I guess, yeah, we can go up to Kansas, where we have the Kansas City Renaissance Festival in Bonner Springs, Kansas, right, just right outside Kansas City on the border of Missouri. And then the Great Plains Renaissance Festival in Wichita, Kansas. And then, of course, if you go over to the other side of Missouri, then you have the St. Louis Renaissance Fair in Wentzville, Missouri. So always interesting. Always interesting. Then you go up to Iowa, and you have the the Greater Quad Cities Renaissance Fair in Davenport, Iowa. So yes, definitely a lot of fairs going on in that region. And a little farther north, and you have the Minnesota Renaissance Festival in Shakopee, Minnesota. So always good. And a little to the east, the Michigan Renaissance Festival in Hawley, Michigan. And going back down to Indiana, that's where that's where I've been. So yes, the Clayshire Castle Medieval Fair in Bowling Green, Indiana. So yes, definitely some interesting things going on there. Before we get out of the Midwest, though, we have the Ohio Renaissance Festival in Waynesville, Ohio. And then we can jump over into into Pennsylvania, where we have the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair in Manheim, Pennsylvania, and the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival in West Newton, Pennsylvania. So good stuff there. Also, we can go down to the Maryland Renaissance Festival in Annapolis, Maryland, and moving on up into farther into New England, we have we have where is that? Okay, King Richard's Fair in Carver, Massachusetts. And am I missing anything? I think is that all? I think that's all. I think I got it. Also, I almost forgot the Connecticut Renaissance Fair in Lebanon, Connecticut. And there we go. 18 fairs, that's right, going on this weekend. So if you have anything near you, check it out. Always fun stuff. So all right, yeah. Wow, okay. Wow. Wow, I missed a few comments here while I was doing that. Wow, okay. Yeah. Oh, Susan, yeah, to the Pennsylvania Fair. Yeah, that's one of the problems with living up in Canada and the whole border problems. It's not easy, and I'm hopefully that won't last too much longer, but we'll see. Isn't every day a Ren Fair for the Amish? Oh wow. Okay, okay. And Danny, yeah, something to check out, definitely. Okay, Ohio, you like that one? That is very good. Uh, yeah, Susan. It used to be a lot easier, but times change, unfortunately. But we'll get through it, and hopefully it'll ease up here pretty soon. Yeah, always never boring, never boring. Now, just because I wanted to prove that I could do everything while I was on the road. Yes, don't worry. I do have a 7 reasons. I do. I managed to do it. So here we go. 7 reasons. So here, for our 7 reasons, I thought 7 reasons conventions are great for Rennies. So I thought that might be a nice one. So here's something to check out. 7 reasons conventions are great for Rennies. So here we go. Number 7. Because you get to run into or meet up with friends from festivals, because there's a lot of friends that from Ren Fairs that maybe that's the only place you see them. I mean, I know for performers and cast and all that, it's very true. And there are certainly people who go out to Ren Fair and have fun and meet people, and they're fair family. I mean, you see them out there, but that's it. So having a meetup in the off season of Faire at a convention, it happens. I mean, there's a lot of crossover, so you can choose to meet them out there and make plans, or you can just go and you'll probably see a few people you recognize from Faire. It tends to happen, really does. Number 6. Susan, you're really going on with that ransom thing, aren't you? Number 6. Vendors you might not see at Faire. Now, there are, just like there are vendors at fairs that just travel the circuit and go around from fair to fair, there are also vendors at conventions that do the same thing. They might do a Ren Fair that's local to them wherever they're based, but often that's it. They don't always do many fairs. They'll do mostly conventions year round. And yeah, I mean, some of these vendors are really, really good. You just don't see them at Faire. So it's a nice place to check out some of that. So something to think about. And number 5, an excuse to wear your garb. I mean, come on. I mean, I know that for those of us who wear our garb all year round most of the time, you don't need that. But for some of you, you wear it a few weekends a year or maybe several weeks a year and that's it. Yeah, I mean, you have an excuse to wear it in the off season and have fun and enjoy yourself. So always a good thing. Always a good thing. Number 4, fair booths at their local convention. Yeah. I mean, the reverse can be true too, because I said that vendors at a convention, they might do a local fair. Well, the same is true too. You'll have people that are based in a certain area that will go around and do some of the fair circuit, maybe in their region, or around there throughout the year, but they'll also do a local convention as well, and they're near their home base. So you can go see some of those fair vendors and see them in air conditioning. That can be fun and nice, and really look at what they have. Okay, let's see. Number 3, fairs may give vague discounts and deals. Oh yeah, and fair booths. I'm sorry, fairs will set up booths at as well. So what you can do is you can you'll see a booth from your fair at the local convention advertising and promoting it. And sometimes they'll give discounts and deals. So yeah, you can go there and maybe get a discount ticket. Sometimes they'll give away free tickets and do things like that. They'll also have information about who's performing and new news that might not even be in the website yet. And at the very least, you can go hang out and get a few pictures, and that's always fun. So that's always a good thing. And let's see, number 2, try out new garb. I mean, suppose you have new garb and you're a lot more rough on it out at Faire, and an indoor convention at a hotel. It's a nice place to try it out. It's like a beta test before you do the fair. So it's a nice excuse to do that. And number 1, we are all nerds. I mean, come on. We do Faire because we love history, we obsess about music, we love sword fighting or jousting, or there's all these different things, I mean, that we are crazy about. And conventions are just a different way to express that. Other different interests, but not that different. So there's a lot of crossover. Odds are, if you like something at Faire, you'll probably like something at conventions too. So something to check out. So anyway, that's my 7 reasons for today, for this week. Hope you liked it, and as always, it's been fun. I hope you all had a good time. It's great to see some new people on here. So thanks for joining me, and everything. It is always fun, and I'll see you next week because, well, yeah, it's it's a fair life, and I'm gonna take my fair life home pretty soon and get some rest. So you'll see a much more refreshed Andrew on Monday, back at my standard setup. So I can't wait to see you, and have a good one. Take care.